something spectacular. You will tell your children about us and your children's children about us. You will tell your children, they will tell their own children about the story of the restoration of Biafra. You will. And then the world will learn from this very template that we're writing on how to fight for your freedom and get it. Watch and see. We don't even touch them and they're crumbling. Spiritually, we have defeated them. Yoruba see us and they fall down. Because of the work that we are doing, do you know that Yoruba is now campaigning out on the street of Lagos saying Igbo should go? Anything I open my mouth and utter, heaven bear me witness. I am telling you today, I don't write anything down on a piece of paper before I come on air. I don't research anything. Yeah. Words come into my mouth and I pronounce it. Anything I say comes to pass. It doesn't matter how ridiculous it sounds. Once I speak it, it's going to happen. Oh, Chineke.
The zoological republic of Nigeria is coming to an end, and we better hasten it, because any day we stay in that country longer, our people will continue to die. Today it is sounding like a remote story. Oh, 16 people tied up and killed in Borno. They are coming ever closer. A few of them went into Yoruba land because that is where they want to go to fall. They want to breach that very area. Once they breach it, we are encircled, and then they come after us and nobody will hear us. Now is the time for us to make hay while the sun is still shining. On this very day, that we are reporting that Boko Haram killed another 16 people. When they say 16 people in Borno State, let us take a wild guess who those people are. They warned us they are going to kill us, and they are living up to their bidding, and they are killing us. Nigeria, all the money that Nigeria is pumping and giving to them is not solving the problem. And to make matters worse, in case you want to run to Biafra land for refuge, which is why we said before, and we keep saying, that anything you are doing, you don't anchor it on truth, you are wasting your time. It is this lack of, or the absence of truth in Igbo land. That is why today we are reporting, rather very sadly, that some people were found dead. Bag. These are Igbo people. They are killing us in the north. They are deporting us from the west, even in our own place. That is why we need Biafra, championed by men of honor and integrity. When we tell people that anybody lying to you in the name of Biafra should not be entertained, these are the things we are talking about. Because if you allow evil an inch, it will consume you.
To be built in a Wanke, that very barrier should be built at the entrance into Biafra land in Idoma and in Igede. It should be built in Ogoja, not for Nnamdi State to fence itself in. As I told you, you listen to the Janjaweed, they have given you a new identity. Before we had Anambra and then Nuku, there was only one Anambra. What could have happened then? There is need for all the governors to coordinate their effort and treat the entire Biafra land as one unit, not all these sub-units created for us by the Janjaweed from the Sahel. It's preferable for us to see all the governors working together and securing the entire borders of Biafra land. Because if we stop them in Lower Benue, they cannot come into Anambra. If we stop them in Ewanke, pass through Bini and come into Biafra land. That is called foresightedness, to be able to anticipate, to have a reasonable sense of judgment. But they don't see very far. All they are bothered about is to loot. All they are bothered about is to serve their masters, their Janjaweed masters in the north. And the resultant effect is a very warped way of thinking and a badly executed policy. And those barriers must come down. Those barriers should be erected at the borders of Biafra land to allow people to mingle, to travel, to interact seamlessly in Biafra land. Very, very critical and very crucial. The truth is that Igbo people do not plan or think ahead. Only when it is marriage, when they want to contest for political office or when they are expecting a container from abroad. I am saying this because I can see the effort that Professor Jofo is making of WIC in America to try to get our people to reason properly. These are the same people that said, if you plan ahead, you avoid every pitfall. The warnings kept coming that a disaster was about to unfold in our land. Every prophet said it. Everybody, if you have a, should I say, a manageable, or should I say, tangible grasp of history, you should be able to know that what is happening now will inevitably come to pass. We foretold what is going on now. We anticipated it. We announced it to the hearing of the whole world. The entirety of humanity can bear us witness. Prophecy after prophecy, prediction after prediction. What did we do? Nothing. We were more interested in individual survivalism. That is that thing within us. Lack of cooperation. Because those who are piloting the affairs of Biafra are not my relatives. They are not my fathers. They are not my uncles. They are not my children. I have a business in Abuja. I have a business in Kaduna. I live in the USA. I live in Europe. I live in Asia. I live in Lagos. It doesn't concern me. It doesn't bother me. That level of destructive individualism is why we are in the mess we are in today more than any other people. It is down to a very deplorable and ugly trait in an Igbo person. Very, very ugly. And we must expunge it tonight. We must try as much as we can to remove this bad behavior from our system. It's terrible. That is the bane of an Igbo man. Selfishness to the point of destruction. Not just their own personal destruction, but the destruction of everybody. Had we not rushed back to the north immediately after the war, where people were struggling what to eat, there was no coordination, there was no planning. Those we are remembering this week, what they fought for, we frittered away more or less. We destroyed everything that they accomplished due to selfish man. The same thing that made it impossible after the war for some elders to rise up and go into Ijoland as brothers and sisters to reconcile, knowing fully well the plan of the Fulani. It was incumbent upon them immediately after the war, should I say in 1976, as soon as Ohaneze was set up, it was incumbent upon them. I expected them to go into the hinterland, to go into the coastal region of Biafra land and say, we got some things wrong. How do we fix it? They never did it. Until I started that very effort in 1999. They didn't do it. But look at where we are today. Nobody knows. Your so-called leaders are hiding, doing conference call, doing Zoom, or is it Voom? I don't know what they call it. When you require leadership, they are found wanting. But they will be the ones to rise up tomorrow morning and say, oh, we are the leaders. We are the leaders. They don't respect us. Some of you that grew outside Igbo land that don't know the meaning of respect. There is something, we that grew up in the village, there's something called Okenye Iberibe. If you don't know, go ask your next door neighbor. Because some of you grew up in Lagos, in Abuja, in Wisconsin. Some of you grew up in Guangzhou, in China. Some of you grew up in the UK. You don't know how we grew up as children. You have no idea about our culture and our way of life. You will Okenye Iberibe, nobody will respect you. Nobody. When you speak, people will laugh at you. Children will laugh, will make a mockery of you. Because you're owed for nothing.